If you find yourself with a camera in your hand and want to learn how to use it, please subscribe to this channel, like the videos, comment below. Hey Photos photographers. So today we are talking about beer photography. It might be a little bit of a unique topic for you to think about, but I actually kind of stumbled across a search result, and a lot of people are talking about how to do beer photography. I didn't anticipate that, but I figured if a lot of people were asking and trying to figure it out, that we could talk about it here and talk about how different drinks require different styles of shooting. So 3 tips on beer photography today. The best and the most, I'd say the highest priority I would suggest in beer photography is to research the shooting style of the beer photography that you can find in internet searches. When you find how those shots are designed and styled, then you can start laying out what you like of those different things that you want to incorporate in yours. We were talking about learning from photography and being able to discern how the photographer achieved that shot, whether it was an ISO setting, high shutter speed, or a wide open aperture or a low aperture. So you can use that technique that we discussed in that video and put that to the test more now in this specific style to see how somebody achieved a shot with beer as the subject of the photography, and then be able to achieve more of that style and learn how to adjust your photography style to be able to incorporate those elements and drawing the attention or desire from one part of the photography shot to another. But all of the details about how to achieve the shot, don't forget either that when you do a shot like this, even if you're contracted for the shot, the marketing firm of that company and their art director, other aspects within that company, they're going to give you direction on what they want you to do, and it's up to you to follow through on what they've designed, but achieve the lighting drama and the draw and the desire to come and buy their product. So I hope that makes sense in those details of what is on you. The company itself more than likely will tell you how they want it laid out, and so the styling of it is not taken over, but also be aware there's things specifically they want done and design and style. They may even tell you that there's a direction of camera angle they want, so that's perfect for you. But also there may be some area within which you could adjust the focal length that you are from the product, so that your camera's protected if they're doing an I can't talk today, an action shot with the pour. So the pouring out of the liquid into a glass, you want to be set up perhaps closer, or you want to get a close-up shot of it. So think about that. Your lens could change from something of a 50 millimeter shot or a 35 millimeter shot being a very up close shot to the pour itself, or you could shoot with something like 200 millimeter or 275 to where you're further away, but you're zooming in much closer into the shot than you would be with a 35 millimeter or 50. So in other words, the finished product of the photo is going to look closer with the 200 or 275 millimeter lens than it would with a 35 or 50, just because of the scope of viewing angle of those lenses versus the closing down of 200 millimeters, 275. Step number 2, make sure to have a clear vessel the drink is being poured into. But kind of a secondary tip to this, unless you're being not sponsored the right, but if the company is providing you with 12 to 24 canisters, cans, bottles of their product, I would not suggest using the product to shoot. And that sounds deceptive, but here's why. Number one, these products will have an aroma about them that may not be pleasing to everybody in the studio. But it may also not be pleasing for it to stick around after the shoot. So I'm not saying that's a bad or a good thing. I'm just saying pay attention. Perhaps that's not something that the studio, if you're shooting in somebody else's studio, wants to have hang around. So you can achieve this without spending the money or having them send the product by having a properly colored water or other liquid that being colored in such a way could be put into a full gallon or some other container and poured out at a specific rate so that you get the flow that you want, you get the directionality you want. So in other words, you need to be careful and plan every final detail of the pour so that you get the action, the shot, the flow. It's surprisingly the draw to selling a product like that in photography is all about those details. Tip number 3, atmosphere is important. So we've talked about this phrase of such and such is king, or I'll step it down to something is queen instead of king, because it's not the primary thing you need to focus on. Atmosphere is important. So if the beer company wants, obviously they're going to want their logo in there, but if they want it in the shot and not just add it in post, there are styles of shoot where the tap is shown and their logo is on top of the tap. There's that style. Now, often at a bar, the tap is going to be seen so that it can be read from across the tap at the bar. In a photo shoot where you want to see the pour and the tap logo, the logo is going to have to be turned. So if you shoot at a bar and the bartender is doing the pour for you, make sure to have them do the hand away from the camera pulling the tap so that it's not covering up the logo or the tap. If you want to see their hand grabbing it, so maybe you have them grab at the top of the tap but below the logo. Just be sure that you have styled out how things are going on, how they grip the tap, and just do everything you can to make the bartender your friend. You make them your friend, the better the shoot's going to look. So atmosphere is important, but don't be locked in either to showing the tap. You don't have to show the tap to get across the, and I guess this would be tip number 4 or 5. So just real quick, the tip here for atmosphere and getting across what's being poured and the brand of beer being poured are the color and showcasing the beer brand logo somewhere. If you see a substance being poured into a beer mug, almost everybody right there is going to assume, oh, this is beer. Then with the pour going on and the beer mug being held, when you see the liquid inside the beer mug, if it's colored properly, it's going to click off in people's minds. Oh, I see the logo, I see the color, I see the beer mug, I see the pour. This is my favorite brand. So be aware that sometimes it's only the color and the logo, really, that key in someone's imagination. This is the brand I want to drink, or this is a brand I want to buy. This is what I want to go do. So again, with tip number 1, remember that researching what you want to do and the elements you want to include are going to key into, focus on, and bring around your viewer in the sale of the product to seeing and creating that draw for your contract into doing and achieving the sale of that product. So thank you so much for watching. We thank you for your coming by and watching, and look forward to seeing your comments on how this content has added value to your photography. And perhaps this will also help you as you reach out to companies to do shoots for them, that you give them the outline of what you do and how that they can specify to you what they want done, but how that you can key in and showcase it for them better than perhaps they have in past with other photographers. But we look forward to getting your thumbs up. If you're not yet a subscriber, we would love to have your subscription and look forward to having you on as part of our photographer team with the Photos Studios. Thank you so much. God bless.